Announcing the arrival of young Borman Anthony Loke Siew Fook, accompanied by our distinguished guests. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. Yang Berhormat Minister Anthony Loke Siew Fook, Minister of Transport Malaysia, Ms. Natasha Zulkifli, Founder Director Women in Rail Malaysia, Dato' Yeo Seok Hong, Executive Director YTL Group, Dato' Sri Azmi Abdul Aziz, CEO YTL Rail, Mr. Aniket, CEO Asap Mobility Sdn Bhd, come Vice Chairman, Institution of Railway Signal Engineers IRSC Malaysian Section, esteemed guests from Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Transport and other government agencies, distinguished industry colleagues from abroad, Ministry of Transport Singapore, SMRT Singapore, MRT Jakarta and PT Land from Indonesia, and Becamex from Vietnam, fellow colleagues and friends from industry, education institutions, and friends of the media, welcome to the inaugural Women in Rail Malaysia Leadership Conference 2019, Together Towards Tomorrow. We are gathered here today for this very special leadership conference brought to you by Women in Rail Malaysia. Out of 500 of us today, 70% are from corporates, government agencies, and industry professionals. And the remaining 30%, which are the most celebrated ones, are from educational institutions. We have with us today 5 secondary schools and 9 higher education institutions. Not to forget our esteemed line of speakers and moderators who are leading professionals in their respective fields, a total of 20 speakers from 12 countries, from various industries such as public sector, railway, transportation, banking, engineering, and technology, to name a few. Needless to say, it is indeed a diverse and inclusive group, a fair representation from all levels of age, experience, gender, disciplines, and organization backgrounds. This is in line with Women in Rail Malaysia's vision to play a pivotal role in shaping the future of rail industry in Malaysia to make it more diverse and inclusive. YB Minister, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, Women in Rail Malaysia was set up in September 2017, following discussions with Women in Rail United Kingdom, which was founded in 2012. It comprises men and women from the UK railway sector, working alongside major stakeholders in the industry to improve diversity in the UK rail industry. It is also devising initiatives aimed at positioning rail as an attractive career choice for young engineers. It is for a bigger and a better future in which the industry needs to reach a place where its workforce is fully diverse. First and foremost, let us hear from its founder, Madame Adeline Ginn, who has sent her video message all the way from the UK. Here is the video message.
Good morning, everyone. I am Adeline Ginn, founder of Women in Rail UK. I am sorry I'm not able to be with you today, but be certain that my thoughts and my heart is with you for this wonderful milestone for Women in Rail Malaysia. I set up Women in Rail UK 7 years ago to give women in the railway sector an opportunity and platform to meet other women in the industry, make new friends, and also receive the support that they need for their personal development, professional development, growth and confidence. We now have 8 regional groups all over the UK, over 4,000 members, who regularly appear in the national and trade press and media, and have forged strong collaborations with the government in the UK and key stakeholders in UK Rail. And I'm truly delighted that Women in Rail is now able to reach out to you, Women in Rail in Malaysia, and thanks to the wonderful and inspirational Natasha, provide you with a networking platform to support you in your career. This is an amazing opportunity for you and Women in Rail, and I am truly excited for you all. I send you warm congratulations on this inaugural event and all the very best for the future. A very, very big thank you to you for being here today and to Natasha for spearheading the new Women in Rail group in Malaysia. And remember, you are all unique and amazing and have a big part to play in the future of your country and of the railway industry in your country. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Madam Adeline. And now, please join me to welcome Ms. Natasha Zulkifli, Founder, Director, Women in Rail Malaysia, to the stage for her welcoming address.
YB Anthony Loke Siew Fook, Minister of Transport Malaysia. Datuk Yeo Siok Hong, MD YTL Construction. Datuk Sri Azmi Abdul Aziz, CEO YTL Rail, and Mr. Aniket, CEO ASAP Mobility. Esteemed speakers who have come from afar, my thanks to you. Members of Women in Rail Malaysia, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to our inaugural Women in Rail Malaysia Leadership Conference. I'm delighted to welcome you, and I'm so touched to see so many people here today. You will notice there's a badge on your lapel. ASAP Mobility CEO Aniket is the guy who came to me in 2016 and he said, "Did you know that there's a Women in Rail in the UK?" And I said, "Really?" I said, "Wow, that sounds so interesting." So I found out more information. I went to meet Adeline in London a few months after that. I talked to her. I was really interested to set this up. I conferred with the CEOs of rail-related agencies and I said, "Would you support something like this?" And they said, "Yes, we would." And then I had a couple of meetings with friends from the industry. And a few months after that, in September 2017, we formally incorporated Women in Rail Malaysia. I'm proud to say that we have 567 members, but from the looks of it today, we may have a few more after today, which is really nice. 10% of our members are men. We welcome male members because I do believe Women in Rail Malaysia cannot survive without the support of the men in rail. I'm so happy to see male students here as well. We welcome the young. As the MC Hazwan said, we have 30% of our crowd here today are students. We welcome you, we are here for you, and you guys are the reason we have done all this today. Women in Rail Malaysia, we've carried out 8 leadership talks. Minister YB Anthony has been so kind. He was our 7th speaker at our leadership talk. We have done a mentorship program. We are doing a job placement program. We want to place young ladies from the B40 category, and we want to give them a job opportunity. So we're going to be doing that in the next few months as well. It is important to us to provide exposure to young people for them to consider a career in the rail space. We plan to do workshops as well for professional career development, and this leadership conference is our first, hopefully not our last, but it is a good start, and I'm really, really happy to be here today. We decided to do this conference because it was important to get more members on board, and well as to attract new potential members for us. Because what really is important is that we are here today, everyone sitting here today, we have to play a bit more of an important role. Under the current government, we cannot expect the new government to do everything for us. The private sector, yes, it drives investment into this space, and the government facilitates that sort of environment. But it is important that each one of us steps up and plays a role and ensures that we do our own bit in nation building. That is really, really important. You cannot say that it is up to other people. It is up to us to do something about it. So I do hope that you coming here today will allow you to play your own special role in a very subtle but meaningful way. I think it's our obligation to bring young professionals up the rail ladder. I have been so blessed to have had mentors and bosses who allowed me to climb up, to do all these crazy projects that I've really died to do. I wanted to do it. They gave me the wings to fly, and I think it's really time that we give back to the young and to the industry and to allow them to do so as well. We need to expose the young people. We need to give them the experience that they need, and we also need to educate them in every little way possible. I want to give a shout out and a call to action to all the young ladies in the audience today. I urge you to be brave, to stretch towards the light. Do not fear taking the road less traveled, even if it means walking alone. Surround yourself with good people, people who are kind and who make you laugh. And your mindset is critical. You need to think positive, believe in yourself, even if some people don't. And finally, you have the greatest chance to succeed in life if you really, really want it. So Women in Rail Malaysia isn't just a journey. It's not an individual journey. It is a collective journey. It is a collective journey of all of you sitting here today to play in your own little way and to create an opportunity for more people to come up, to attract them, to bring them into the industry. We've done talks in primary schools in the state of Johor late last year. That was really, really interesting. It was an experiment. Being not-for-profit, we run on experimentation. If something works, we do it more often, and if it doesn't work, we adjust and we fix it. So we went into 4 primary schools in Johor. We went to 2 national government schools and 1 Chinese government school and 1 Tamil government school, all primary school kids. And the headmasters and mistresses were so kind. They brought the whole school down to listen to us talk. And I had brought a young lady who is an engineer. She went to school in Asunta. She grew up in Taman Medan, I believe, in Selangor. She got a scholarship. She went to university in the US. She studied engineering. And then she went to work for SPAD and MyHSR. So this amazing lady, Shahira, she talked to all the students in all the 4 schools. And we had the state education department there. And in all the schools, it was really interesting to watch. I mean, these are primary school kids. Attention span is short. But I'll tell you one thing. All the girls were listening. All the girls listened, and they listened with wide eyes. Some of the boys got a bit fidgety, started to tickle their friends and chit-chat with their mates on the side. But all the girls listened. And it was really encouraging for us. We want to do more of that in the coming months as well. We had the State Education Department of Johor with us in all 4 schools. And at the end of the 4th school, they said, hey, Natasha, can you come back? Can you speak to our upper secondary and vocational colleges as well? So it's those sorts of things that make me realize that this is not an individual journey. It is a collective journey. We are duty bound. We have a duty of care to leave this industry in a better place than how we found it. We need to partner. We need to work together for real change to happen, to create and ensure real impact for those lives, for the lives of those in the rail space. And we have to do it and contribute our fair share. I'd like to end by saying that this is a journey for Malaysia. We need to make our domestic rail industry an internationally successful one. And I challenge all of you to go home today and think about what more you can do to make this space a better one. I'd like to end with a quote from Michelle Obama. She wrote a really, really cool autobiography, which is now the best-selling autobiography in history. If you haven't read it, please do. And this is my favorite quote from the whole book, and it goes like this. She said, "Do we settle for the world as it is, or do we work for the world as it should be?" Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us now watch a video of Women in Rail and how industry players work together to achieve its objective, especially via its mentoring program that focuses on providing coaching to young professionals. Here's the video.
Welcome to the Women in Rail Mentoring Program. We are in our 5th year, but this year we have repowered the program to make it sustainable, transferable and scalable and available to everyone. Mentoring is key to personal development. For the mentor, it's about giving something back and helping a younger professional. For the mentee, it's having access to someone who gives their time to support and to help.
By having a cross-company program, it gives the opportunity not just for mentees but also mentors to understand the complexities and the interfaces of the system that they work in.
You're thinking of becoming a mentee, just grab it with both hands, because it's not just, you know, the contacts that you can get from your mentor and the way of thinking, an entree into the industry. You're also learning new skills yourself.
Definitely, I would advocate people to put themselves forward as mentors, first of all, because it's a fantastic gift you can give somebody. Secondly, you learn a huge amount from your mentee. Actually, you learn quite a lot about yourself in that process as well.
One of the reasons I wanted to be a mentor was because I never had that. Everyone comes to me, but I have no one to go to. And it makes me feel relevant.
That sympathy, it's that understanding of what other people are going through, some of the challenges that they're facing that maybe have forgotten. It's important to be able to sit down with somebody who knows completely different things than you, has completely different experience.
We're really looking forward to supporting you all in your mentoring journeys ahead, to matching you, supporting you with training, development and workshops and networking opportunities.
The future of rail's brand values rest upon schemes like this, improving our brand values, showing that we care.
Personal development, diversity and inclusiveness, change and adapting. These are the key themes that have been mentioned in the video and also the key themes for our leadership conference today. Women in Rail Malaysia hopes that all of us will be committed to work towards ensuring the industry workplace at large and the railway industry specifically to continue to thrive, to be more competitive, inclusive and diverse. Ladies and gentlemen, in line with these objectives, as mentioned by Ms. Natasha, Women in Rail Malaysia actively organizes leadership talks with industry experts. A Malaysian mentorship program is also ongoing, as well as to provide a platform for seamless industry networking for employment opportunities and career advancement. One of the important milestones for Women in Rail Malaysia was the leadership talk that was jointly organized with IRSC on 1st November last year, where our Honorary Minister of Transport addressed a group of young professionals at the Parliament. We are grateful for the continuous support that has been extended by YB Minister himself and the Ministry of Transport towards our initiatives. Today, once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have YB Anthony Loke at our event. Please join me to welcome YB Anthony to the stage to deliver the keynote address.
Puan Natasha Zulkifli, Founder Director of Women in Rail Malaysia, Dato' Yeo Sok Hong, Managing Director, YTL Construction, Dato' Sri Azmi Abdul Aziz, CEO of YTL Rail, Mr. Aniket, CEO of ASAP Mobility, esteemed speakers from abroad, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. First of all, allow me to thank Women in Rail Malaysia for this invitation to deliver the opening keynote address at your inaugural Women in Rail Malaysia Leadership Conference. I'm delighted to be back at one of your events, the first one being when I addressed your members at the leadership talk at the Malaysian Parliament on the 1st of November last year. I'm delighted to see such a big crowd here today, and especially pleased to see so many young people as well. I understand from Puan Natasha that Women in Rail Malaysia has made a deliberate attempt to ensure that the inclusion of students from both upper secondary and universities in this leadership conference. It is heartening to not only see the large numbers, but also the interest that the young have in the rail industry. In fact, I would like to promote not only Women in Rail. Just as recent as last week, I promoted Women in Maritime. This year, in the IMO, the theme for the Maritime is on board. I'm on board to promote women in maritime as well. I'm proud to say that I have appointed the first female general manager of a port authority in Malaysia. Right now, we have the first woman GM of Penang Port Authority. It is my hope to see more women in the railway sector. We hope to see more female top management and more female engineers in our railway companies. So guys, all the male, please beware. You better buck up. If not, you'll be out of job very soon. I also promoted, and it's my hope to see more women across the transport industry. In fact, I would like to promote more women in our air traffic control as well, because it's a fact that women are more attentive. So we need more women in the air traffic control room. Indeed, the young, our future, and I hope that today, your attendance here at the inaugural Women in Rail Malaysia Leadership Conference will allow you to gain not only insights into the international transport space, but also better understand about the potential career opportunities that await you when you enter the workforce in the not too distant future. Since becoming Minister of Transport, I too have had to quickly learn about the world of transport in this most exciting and dynamic space. I must admit that I find it, if not very challenging and interesting, but constantly changing and evolving. It was a very steep learning curve for me over the past 1 year. I basically know nothing about things like maritime, things about railway industry, but it's always a very, very interesting learning because it involves the life of the people, it involves the daily life, help people to commute. If we can generate or we can do our policies or make transport sector more available to the public, it helps to create a better life for everyone. So the transport sector is actually a very important and very exciting because it involves the day-to-day life of everyone, the community and the society at large. May I also take this opportunity to welcome the foreign guests that are here today. I'm delighted to see representative from the Singapore's Ministry of Transport and SMRT, Mr. Siew is here. I met him recently. BKMX IDC from Vietnam, as well as our friends from Indonesia's MRT Jakarta and PTN. Selamat datang. Indeed, this bodes well for cross-border peer-to-peer rail relations, and I'm delighted to see Women in Rail Malaysia taking the lead in ensuring we develop and nurture these sorts of regional working relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, since Pakatan Harapan took over the government in May 2018, Ministry of Transport has grown into a more cohesive and integrated organization. All government functions and regulatory roles related to transport are finally streamlined and consolidated under the umbrella of one ministry. This includes agencies and bodies relating to land transport, logistics, urban public transport, aviation, port, and maritime, namely Land Public Transport Agency, APAD, Prasarana Malaysia, MRT Corporation, Malaysia Railing, and the list goes on. I'm not sure whether you know that most of these agencies were not under the Ministry of Transport previously. Previously, SPAD is under the PM's department, Prasarana Malaysia is under MOF, MRT Corporation is under PM's department, Malaysia Railing is under the PM's department. None of these agencies were under the Ministry of Transport. But the first thing that we did under the Ministry of Transport when we took over, and with the consent of the Prime Minister, that all transport-related agencies were put under the Ministry of Transport. We believe that more integration, that none of these agencies can work in silos, and most of them must work together under one ministry for better policy formulation. With this consolidation, my ministry officials can break down previous existing silos, minimize duplication, ensure optimum allocation of resources, as well as oversee better implementation of government initiative and projects which benefits the rakyat. In this spirit, I take a personal interest in also ensuring the Malaysian transport space attracts the best possible talent, because a high-performing rail industry requires a skilled workforce of all kinds. In this current fast-paced world we live in now, change is happening at such an accelerated and exponential speed. Talent no longer means the same as it did 10 years ago. With many of the roles, skills, and job titles of tomorrow being unknown to us today, the competition for the right talent is fierce, and we expect different jobs to be created. These jobs will be in turn demand different skill sets. I'm sure all the CEOs in the audience today are asking themselves, how can their organization prepare for a future that few of us can define? With talent needs swiftly changing, without doubt, Malaysian companies must be prepared to attract, keep, and motivate the people it needs. This means we have to fully understand the future to come. We must ensure our young are not only studying the right courses today, but also imparted with the right knowledge and skills so that they are well equipped for the job requirements of tomorrow. However, I must caution that skills are not an end in their own right. Skills are merely one of the drivers of productivity. It is important that intelligence gathering by business unit, project, skill sets, and geography is not only undertaken at the national level, but also at the company level to inform investment needs. We also need to develop a baseline by age, gender, and skills profile to ensure the rail industry has the right people with the right skills at the right time. It is for this reason that Ministry of Transport will put in place a long-term skills strategy and delivery plan for the Malaysian transport industry. Under the previous administration, the idea of a National Rail Centre of Excellence was mooted but never materialized. It is high time for us to pool our resources from both government regulators as well as from industrial operator to set up an institutionalized academy for skills training development related to rail transport industries for the entire country. We have KTMB running the National Rail Network, Prasarana operating mainly the urban metro and buses, APAD as the regulator, ERL as a private company running the Airport Express. In the future, we will have MRL operating East Coast Rail Link. Each of the above entities mentioned have their own training center or academy. As all of these entities now report to the Ministry of Transport, we are looking at consolidating and setting up one center of excellence for the entire country. It will be more efficient, more sustainable, and more impactful. In fact, our ambition for the National Center of Excellence to also serve the needs of the Southeast Asian region. Our neighbors from Thailand and Indonesia, for example, are keen to establish cooperation with us in the area of skills development in rail and transportation industries. We are planning to roll out the plan for first phase by end of this year or early 2020. In looking to the future, the Ministry of Transport also take cognizance of the digital transformation that the transport space, particularly the rail industry, will face. Automation and artificial intelligence will affect every level of business and its people. We will need keen insights and depth of understanding into the changing technology landscape, and it is incumbent upon all employers to nurture agility, adaptability, and reskilling. I urge employers to embrace the younger digital native into your company structure, because they, in turn, will expedite the digital transformation of your companies. Digitalization will, in all likelihood, also democratize the rail sector. The question is, will the leaders in the industry be courageous enough to embrace it, or will they get swept away by it? Most definitely, those with first mover advantage will have better skill staff, making those innovative rail companies a more attractive employer compared to employers from other industries. In order to achieve this, Ministry of Transport thus wishes to see more industry partnership between the public and private sector, as well as with the academia. By aggregating demand, we can facilitate delivery and ensure broader offerings in terms of resources to where it is needed the most. These deliverables will include targeted digital technical training, better trained employees, as well as improved connections with universities and other educational providers. It is envisaged that this will not only encourage innovation, but also investment into new technologies and research. My ministry will also support, in partnership with other ministries, the high potential SMEs in the Malaysian transport space. If they require strategic guidance, we will endeavour to support, because the Malaysian transport industry requires agile industry leaders that would not only leverage on a skilled workforce, but also take advantage of the benefit that IR 4.0 brings. With the McKinsey report predicting that 8 to 9% of the 2030 labour demand will be in the new types of occupations that have never existed before, my ministry is working hard to ensure that it is well prepared and that a sustainable long-term partnership is in place between the government and all relevant stakeholders. We want to ensure positive outcomes, thus removing boom and bust cycles from the rail industry, reducing the cost of delivery and lowering whole life cycle costs, enabling more private sector investment, delivering significant reliability, performance and customer benefits, as well as creating a world-class railway and a skills legacy with a strong potential for export capability. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pakatan Harapan government remains committed to developing the domestic rail space. Whilst there may have been some initial postponements, the Pakatan Harapan government has shown its commitment to making rail the backbone to transport links throughout the country. With the relaunch of the East Coast Rail Line, ECRL, a new alignment and at reduced costs, the Pakatan Harapan government has put to rest the uncertainties that have prevailed before this. In fact, not only is the ECRL back on track, but there is also a larger role and scope for Malaysian companies to play an active part in this national project. I'm glad to inform you that the ceremony to relaunch the ECRL will be held on the 25th of July this month. And it is a very exciting time for Malaysian companies, because under the new deal, 40% of the project, especially on the civil work, have to be conducted by local companies. So it creates a lot of opportunities for Malaysian companies to take part in this ECRL project. And it's our hope to ensure that we fully utilize the whole project for the benefits of the Malaysian economy, not only at the construction stage, but also we have to link up the whole railway network with the port, and also to ensure that industrialization will take place along the railway corridor. So we have big plans, and we want to fully utilize the strategic project to make sure that it will benefit the Malaysian economy in the long run and to bring more connectivity to the Malaysian people. Ministry of Transport is also actively seeking an end to the congestions at the Southern Causeway and continues to be in talks with our Singapore counterparts to explore project options for the Rapid Transit System RTS connecting Johor Bahru with Woodlands North. Mr. Siew is here. We have been in touch to discuss what are the options to move this RTS forward. And personally, I'm fully committed to ensure that the RTS at our causeway will be realized. It is my hope to see RTS take place. Even though we have some problem, but I always believe that with the right will, if there is a will, there is a way. We can always find a creative solution to any problems. And I'm thankful that our friends in Singapore are very pragmatic, are very cooperative in helping us to find a solution to this problem. And it's my hope that in the next 1 or 2 months, we will have some good news to be announced to the Malaysian public and also to the Singapore people. So stay tuned. Hopefully that RTS can be announced. Some good announcement can be made by September, because our deadline to postpone the project is until 30th of September. but we are very confident that we can reach an agreement before the 30th of September. So we work hard to ensure that it will happen, and it will create more opportunities for the railway industry. For the HSR project, I understand that my HSR and the Ministry of Economic Affairs are relooking at the project's economic and financial model, with a view to ensuring the project is executed in a way that is both financially and economically sustainable throughout its entire life cycle. I understand that HSR will also be decided before May 2020. So let's hope that we will look into the whole project in entirety, and some solutions can be worked out to ensure that the project can be resumed if possible. Ladies and gentlemen, the road ahead for us as a nation is long and will be challenging. I remain hopeful though, because when civil society, via entities such as Women in Rail Malaysia, step up and are excited to contribute towards nation building, it reminds me that we can achieve much when we work together. As Natasha said, we can't just depend on the politician. All of us have to play a role in nation building. We are not Superman. We can't change the entire country with just 1 month or 1 year into government. But we hope everyone can work together. As I said, as I told the businessmen when I met them last few days ago in Portland, as a country, we are very blessed because we have very strategic location. In terms of geography, we are very blessed. We are located in one of the most strategic sea routes in the world. We are in the Straits of Malacca. We are a maritime nation. Not many countries have a country where all the states have a coastline, have a coastal line. If you look at our map, all the 13 states in the country have a coastal line. You go to Europe, many places are landlocked. But in Malaysia, every single state has a coastal line. And we are a maritime nation. But somehow we have not fully utilized our advantages as a maritime nation. So I told the business sector, just don't look at it from a business point of view. Look at it as a national mission. Turn our advantage to our benefits to ensure that the country can progress well. And maritime and rail is interconnected, because we need the railway network to ensure that our port connectivity is in better shape. And the railway network, if it can be connected to the port, it will improve our connectivity to the port, and also will improve our strategic advantages for our ports. So let's work together and turn Malaysia into a high-income country. And we need everyone to work together and look at this as our mission as a country. And every citizen of this country must play a role in this nation-building process. If you want a Malaysia Baru, you cannot just depend on politicians. Everyone have a role to play to contribute to the spirit of Malaysia Baru. Let's work together. The theme, thank you. The theme of this conference, Together Towards Tomorrow, is surely most apt, since not only does Malaysia stand on the cusp of transformational change, but we are consciously mindful about the need to be prepared and to upskill our own workforce so that we are adequately prepared to face the challenges and disruptions to come. The presence of many young people today also bodes well for our future, and I'm comforted to see Women in Rail Malaysia growing from strength to strength. Natasha informs me that since we last met, the membership base of Women in Rail Malaysia has grown. Congratulations to you and your team, Natasha. I'm sure it has not been an easy path for you, given the recent challenging times that the domestic rail industry has faced. I'm also pleased to see a good mix of participants here today. Since Women in Rail Malaysia is all-inclusive, it is very nice to see not only so many illustrious international speakers, but also many male delegates here today as well. So I'm happy to see Dato' Yo is here as well to fully support the conference. And I just asked Natasha during the coffee break just now that is there any NGO about women in aviation? I've heard about women in rail, women in maritime, let's have something on women and in aviation as well, so that you can have, a wide spectrum of the whole industry, that we want to promote more women in leadership role, in management role, across the transport industry. May I end my speech by issuing a challenge. I challenge everyone attending this Women in Rail Malaysia Leadership Conference here today to not only open your minds to different international best practices in leadership and in the global rail industry, but thereafter, to stretch yourself to excel in the professional workplace, work hard and deliver a domestic rail industry that allows Malaysia to stand tall and head-to-head with its global peers. We as Malaysians must collectively ensure we improve not only our standards of delivery to be on par with not our regional neighbors, but globally as well. Finally, I would like to congratulate the organizing committee for putting together and successfully executing this leadership conference. I'm impressed that a team of volunteers that hold down full-time jobs in the domestic rail industry have managed to come together to deliver a conference of international standard here in Kuala Lumpur. This has definitely contributed greatly towards increasing the awareness and importance of the rail industry to new stakeholders, such as the school children, university students, and even the teachers and lecturers themselves. So there are a lot of opportunities in the rail industry, so please consider this is one as your career option. On that note, it gives me great pleasure in declaring this inaugural Women in Rail Malaysia Leadership Conference 2019 officially open. Thank you very much.
Thank you, YB. If I may request YB, if I may invite you back on stage with Ms. Natasha. We have a very small token of appreciation for YB Anthony. Thank you to our sponsor, Mangosteen, for the token of appreciation. Thank you very much, YB Anthony Loke. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, YB Minister has a very tight schedule today. So we thank you once again, YB, for your time to be with us today and officiate the inaugural Women in Rail Leadership Conference. YB Minister will depart from the conference now.